Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I will be testing and sharing my thoughts on this brand new Armani Neo Nude True to Skin Natural Glow Foundation. I also have my Supergoop glow screen, so I'm going to test this out as well. This will be my primer du jour. I picked this up from Sephora during the sale. I chose shade 5.5, but there are 24 different shades available. It's a pretty nice shade range for a tinted moisturizer type of product. It's supposed to have light to no makeup coverage, a natural finish. It's said to be for all skin types. So let's begin with the demonstration. The description on the Sephora website says it's a skincare infused formula. It has hyaluronic acid and emollient oils, which explains the texture because it feels very smooth. It just kind of glides on the skin, but it's almost greasy, like a silicone primer. It's very thin. It reminds me a little bit of the YSL All-in-One Glow if it had oil, because that's an oil-free formula that's water-based. Also has hyaluronic acid, but you can tell this has oils in it. It doesn't seem to have any fragrance, so that's a good thing. It doesn't have any sun protection, so I'm going to go in with this Supergoop glow screen first. This has SPF 40. Broad spectrum, so this is going to be my SPF for the day. It's also going to act as a primer. I haven't tried this yet. I'm so excited. So I just have a little dollop, about a dime size amount. Oh wow, that's really pretty. You can't really tell on your hand. I could see a little luminosity, but not much. I thought it was going to be extremely subtle, but it's not. I can definitely tell there's glow. This would be a great primer during the day. It feels pretty nice. I really like the sheen it gives the skin. It's more natural. It's kind of a subtle sheen. It's not like a bright radiance, so you could wear this by itself and it would be fine. It has a light sunscreen fragrance, but it's not incredibly heavy. It does feel slightly greasy. I don't know if that's going to work well with this Giorgio Armani or work against it. But either way, it's worth testing together because I wouldn't necessarily want to wear this by itself with no sunscreen underneath. I hope this works out as a primer. I would love to be able to throw this underneath a foundation. If for some reason it doesn't, I will still wear it by itself to the pool, to the beach, any occasion when I'm going to be outside. So now let's go in with this Neo Nude True to Skin Natural Glow Foundation. Just going to use my fingers. I think it looks nice. So far, I've only applied it on this half of my face, and it works. I think my skin looks so smooth. So you can use these two together, both the glow screen and the Neo Nude foundation. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I mean, the texture feels similar, so it kind of makes sense. But it could have been like oil and water. You know, maybe they would have repelled against each other. But it looks really nice. It's just kind of this cohesive, glowy finish. And the foundation itself is not sitting in any of my pores. It's not clinging to any dry patches. I ran into that issue with the new Tom Ford tinted moisturizer, and I ended up liking the finished result. I'm happy with it. I'm not over the moon. I don't think it's worth the price point because that foundation is $70, whereas this one is $40. But I think this actually looks better on the skin. My face looks very hydrated, very glowy, but also when I look up close, I can't see it sitting on my skin. I can't see it sitting in my pores. This might be one of the most natural looking foundations I've ever tried. I think it's kind of bold to call it a foundation, if I'm being honest. It's just so light. So let me try this other side. I think I'm gonna need a little bit more. Wow. Wow. This part of my chin, I didn't say anything out loud, but I was thinking to myself, this is going to be the test, because I had a little blemish right there, just a little clogged pore that had come to the surface, and I thought, if this goes over that area, surely it's going to cling to the dryness. But it just covered up that little blemish. Wow. All right. I think that's a good sign when a foundation looks nice even in your trouble areas, or on those days that maybe your skin is going through something. It's nice to know that you can still wear foundation and it's going to look really good. It's not going to emphasize or accentuate any of the little problem spots. I had a little excess on my hand. I tried to smear it over on this cheek. I don't think this is the type of product that you can really build up. If you prefer a foundation with more medium coverage, full coverage, this might not work for you. It looks nice. It's evened out my complexion. I can still see my skin shining through, so I can still see my freckles. The color isn't great. It's a little bit too gold, which I sort of expected yesterday when I swatched it on my hand, but it doesn't seem like it wants to set. It's just kind of smudging all over the place. Like if I were to keep manipulating it, it would smear everywhere. So I definitely need to set this with a powder. I'm back. My makeup is now complete. I finished my face using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, as well as the Luminous Le Beige Compact from Chanel. Overall, I think it looks really nice, but I do want to share my thoughts, starting with this Supergoop Glow Sunscreen. I think this looks really pretty on the skin. It gives the most natural, subtle looking glow. It's not like a radiance primer. There's no visible shimmer. It's just a very slight sheen. You really can't appreciate it until you've applied it all over your face. I could see myself using this every single day, either alone or underneath any foundation. On the back it says it's SPF 40 lightweight, a makeup gripping primer. It's pearlescent, so you have to be kind of careful. I think if you have a medium or deep skin tone, you don't want it to look ashy on the skin. And then it says it doubles as a cream highlight. I would not tap this on cheeks or use it as a highlighter. I would just use it as a makeup primer. I'm sure it helps that the foundation I used today is pretty lightweight, but I feel like I can still see a lot of the sheen shining through beneath the foundation. It looks so nice, very different from what I experienced using that liquid glass primer from Farsali. I felt like once I went in with my foundation, the effect had disappeared. Whereas with this glow screen, I can still see that sheen, and it's really pretty, very soft. I almost wish I had applied it on just half of my face so I could know for sure, but I think it does a really nice job filling in fine lines, pores. My makeup on top looks really nice and smooth, so I think this is going to be an excellent primer, especially over the summer or anytime you're spending time outdoors. It's pretty greasy. It has that silicone slip. It says it's for all skin types, but I don't think this would feel really nice if you have oily skin. When I think back to when I was really combination and I would get oily in my T-zone, I think then I would have wanted to avoid a product like this. It's definitely going to be great if you're dry, if you spend time outdoors and you need sunscreen. If you're normal, this is going to be nice. Combination, you could probably try it and see, but if you're really oily, I'm not sure you're going to love the feel of this as a primer. I feel the exact same way about this Armani Neo Nude foundation. It says it's for all skin types, and yet if I was oily, I don't think I would love this. It just feels so greasy and oily. It has a lot of oils in it, which is fine because I know oil tends to combat oil. It's not that I think this is going to break you out or be a nightmare, but by the end of the day, I could just see your face melting. I think back to when I had combination skin, and I think this would be just smearing and smudging all over the place. It's not an incredibly long wear formula. I don't have to wear this a long time to know that. And that's okay. I mean, not every foundation, not every occasion calls for a super long wear foundation. If you're just running out the door, you want a little something to even out your complexion, I think this is going to be perfect. But it does kind of feel smudgy and slippery, which is why I knew right away that I needed to set it with powder. If you have dry skin, I think you will love this. If you have normal skin, I think this would be really nice on you. And it does have hyaluronic acid, it has the oils. It evens out your complexion, you know, it has light sheer coverage. It looks really pretty, it doesn't cling to dry patches, it doesn't settle in pores, I think. Because I used this, I'm not 100% sure what it looks like by itself. But I would say if you use any sort of primer, it's going to look amazing on your skin, but it always maintains that kind of slippery, greasy feel. It's such a great summer weight complexion product. I think it's kind of generous to call this a foundation. It's definitely more of a tinted moisturizer, CC cream, BB cream, something along those lines. Texture-wise and physically, it feels so light, and it gives really light coverage. But it's almost a shame that it doesn't contain any SPF. I mean, I know it does have skincare, which is great, but no 15, no 20, 25 even. You know, I wouldn't recommend you wear this by itself. You almost have to, you know, pair it with something like this. Not necessarily this, but you'd need some sort of sun protection if you were wearing this out during the day. I think it looks so smooth, and it's very forgiving. Like it's really soft in any of my little smile lines. I can see so much sheen. That's definitely from the glow screen, but it looks really pretty. I'm glad the textures work nicely together. I think that's a nice combination. If you have dry, normal skin, if you're oily, that combination is going to be the devil. You'll just feel like you are melting, especially if you live in a hot, humid climate. Ooh. Yeah. I touched my face right here and it kind of wiped the product away. That's my one complaint about it. It's almost too hydrating, too soft. It doesn't really set. Depending on your skin type, that may or may not concern you. I feel like if I were meeting somebody and I were to lean in, give them a hug or a kiss, not that I would do that anytime soon, but you know, when I think about past behaviors, you know, when you're out and about meeting people, I would be afraid that this would smear all over them or get on their clothes, get on their face, because it just doesn't feel like it's really stuck to my skin. It looks really nice though. I love the way it looks on the face. Hasn't settled into any pores, hasn't clung on to any dry patches. And it looks nice and glowy. It's very natural. I love it. It is truly a minimal, natural looking foundation that just kind of enhances your own complexion, but you can barely detect that it's even on the skin. That is hard to find. Okay, final thoughts now. For the price, for the skincare, I think it's really excellent. You have to set your expectations. I think if you have combination oily skin, this isn't going to be right for you. I think even if you are normal to dry and this is ideal, it's not going to work for occasions where you need it to be very long wearing. That being said, as long as you kind of know what you're getting and this sounds like something that you're interested in, I think you would love it. It looks really pretty. It's very flattering. I didn't choose the best shade, but that's my fault. It's always kind of tricky for me to find the right foundation shade online. I can kind of guess when it comes to concealer because I generally just go light. When it comes to the face, I'm just not sure. It's not terrible, but it's very gold, the 5.5. I still really like it. I wish it had sunscreen, but I think these two together is really pretty for summer. I like this so much more than the new Tom Ford, and it's half the price, nearly half the price, 70 versus 40 bucks. And I picked this up on sale at Sephora, so I think it came out to $36, something like that. That's a steal. That's a bargain. All things considered, I feel really good about that price. And that completes my review. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found this information helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you've tried this foundation, what are your thoughts? Drop me a comment. We'll keep the conversation going there. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything today on my face, down in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.